Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, The Blazing Sun. I am Yash Sharma, and from today, I am starting this Python series for anyone who wants to learn Python in the most efficient way. So let's get started. Before we begin with Python, there are two terms, programming and coding. So let us understand each one of them. First is coding. It is basically writing code to solve a problem. Okay. Now there is another term which is known as programming. This is basically solving a problem by different steps. First is designing. Second step is coding. Third step is testing the code, whether it works properly or not. Fourth one is maintaining the software. See, we are writing this code. This coding process is basically writing the code. But why do we code? To make a software. So after testing, when we deploy a software to solve a problem, now we have to also maintain that software. So last process is maintaining the software. Okay, so we have seen that in coding, we are writing code to solve a problem. So it is just writing the code. But programming it in itself is a bigger domain. We are designing, we are coding, we are testing, and we are maintaining the software. This software is solving some problem. In the coding, we are just writing the code to solve that problem. So we can say that programming is a is a superset, while coding is a subset. How we will draw a diagram for it? Let us see. Suppose this box, this whole box is programming. Then its subset. This is coding. Coding is just a small part of programming, while programming is a bigger domain. So in this course, we are going to learn coding, not programming. because testing, designing, and maintaining a software are itself are different things to learn. Now, we are going to learn a specific programming language, which is Python. Okay, so before starting with Python, I want you to understand the types of programming languages there are. Types of programming languages. So, programming languages were made so that we can communicate with the machines, the computer. We as humans communicate with each other through a particular language, like Hindi or English or any other language which you speak. But we cannot use that particular language to communicate with the computer. So, to solve that problem, over different years, uh, over different years, many programming languages were made, starting with the oldest one, the machine language, which consisted of zeros and ones, the binary numbers in the form of zeros and ones. Now, today, we have high level languages like Python or Java or C++ plus plus and so on. Uh, these languages are more like our English language, which can be used to used to establish a communication between humans and machines, the computer. Now let us understand the types of programming languages. So basically, there are, you can say, mainly three types of programming languages. First is machine language, written in zeros and ones. Now, this was the programming language which was the closest one to the this is the closest language as the machine can understand. So, uh, it was very fast. But the thing about it is very hard to understand. So, there were very less people who could understand such a language. And yes, it was very difficult for us to code in this language. Now, another programming language is the assembly language. Now, what is this assembly language? It used some short codes, also called mnem- mnemonics. Mnemonics. Just a second. Mnemonics, which are basically the short codes or short forms, you can say, to give the computer some instructions which it can understand, such as add, move, sub. Yes. And now one more thing about it was It was because of having some words or short codes which are called mnemonics, just like English language. It was easier to understand as compared to machine language. Now, this assembly language directly could not be understood by the machine. So we needed an assembler which converted this machine language into a machine assembly language into machine language. Needed an assembler which converted assembly language to machine language. Now this is because the machines can only understand zeros and ones, but we have written the code in the form of these letters add, move, sub, also called as mnemonics. So the machine cannot understand this. So we need an person in between which can convert this assembly language into machine language, which the computer can understand. Okay. So after the assembly and machine languages, now comes the modern era where our uh, programming languages became more easier to understand by humans, but they became more far away from the initial machine language. Now let us talk about those high level languages. High level languages. Now there are some characteristics about this high level languages. They use English like words. When you will study Python, you will see that it is so easy and it consists of many words which are similar to that of English language. Now, see, high level languages are also far away from the machine language. So, we need a particular thing in between which can convert this high level language into machine language. So, the things are called interpreter uh, and there are other things which are called compiler. In some time, we will understand the difference between these two terms, interpreter and compiler. Now, the examples examples of high-level languages are Python, C++, and Java. These are the examples of high-level languages. One more thing to tell you that these machine language and assembly language together, they are also called low-level languages. while high-level languages are these ones. Now, going forward, in high-level languages, we heard two terms, interpreter and compiler. Now we will study each one of them. We will understand what each one of them means and how they are different from each other. So starting with compiler. Compiler. What it does is it translates the whole code first and then executes the code. So you can say that when we use a compiler in a particular programming language, it will translate the whole code first and then it will execute that code. But the interpreter is very different from this. What the interpreter does is it translates the code line by line plus executes that particular line. Okay, so compiler translates the whole code first and then executes the code, while interpreter is translating each line of the code line by line, and the particular line which it has translated, it is now executing that particular line. So let us now understand about Python. What kind of programming language it exactly is. As you know, Python is a high-level language, which means it uses modern, you can say modern syntax, just like the English language, and it is interpreted language, which basically means that the code written in Python is translated. Each line is translated one by one, and each line is executed one by one. Suppose there are 10 lines of code in Python. So first line will be translated and executed. Second line will be translated, then executed. Third line will be translated, then executed. Fourth line will be translated and executed, and so on. Now, Python Python supports many different ways in which you can write code. Uh, it can be object oriented way, object oriented way. The other way is functional way, and procedural way. You will understand these terms in the future when we will study object-oriented programming in Python. Then you will understand what exactly the object-oriented way is. Functional way you will understand, and the procedural way. In the future, you will understand these terms when we will study the functions. Now, let us move on. Now, before studying any subject, we should always think why that particular subject we are studying. Is it actually helpful in real world, or are we just studying that particular subject for just scoring marks in the colleges? So let us understand what exactly is the need of Python as a programming language in industries. So the question is, where is Python used? This is the big question. So I will tell you one by one where exactly Python is used. So the first thing is web development. So if you will study web development, you will hear that in the backend, Python is used. The second one is data science and data analysis. Now, in data science and data analysis, there is another programming language known as R like programming language, but still, Python is dominantly used for data analysis, uh, which you will study if you take the if you choose the course of data science. Third one is artificial intelligence and machine learning. When you study these branches of machine learning and artificial intelligence, they are the code in these languages. In these codes are written in Python. Uh, I want to tell you one thing that in these both are correlated, and there are many Python libraries. What are libraries exactly you will understand in the future. But there are many Python libraries such as NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn, and scikit-learn. These are many Python libraries which are used to write the code which works in industries for the data scientist or data analyst roles in different companies. And similarly, for if you want to become AI engineer or ML engineer, so in these roles, Python is dominantly used. There are many more tools which are used, but as a programming language, Python is the one which is used the most. Similarly, while making software, in software development, Python is also used. It is also used in game development. There is a particular library in language, sorry, there is a particular library in programming language Python, which is called Pygame. This particular library in Python is used by different professionals to make games by using the Python. You are, it is also used, the Python programming language is also used in cybersecurity and ethical hacking. Python is also used in robotics and IoT, that is Internet of Things. Internet of Things. Python is also used in cloud computing and DevOps. The last but not the least, Python is also used in scientific computing. Scientific computing. So from all of this, you can see that Python is the most useful programming language because it is used in so many of the job roles. Python is like a tool which can be used in different situations for any development, such as website development in the backend, just like uh, in the development in the web development, in the data science job roles, in artificial intelligence and machine learning, or in any software development, game development, be it cloud computing and DevOps, or be it the cybersecurity field. Python is used everywhere. In, in some form, it is used everywhere. Now, after understanding that uh, where Python is exactly used in these particular MNCs, now we will understand the advantages and disadvantages of Python. So first we will go with advantages. Advantages of Python. First and the most big, first and the biggest advantage of Python that you will hear from everyone is that it is very easy to understand, easy to learn and understand. This is because the syntax of Python, as going forward in the sessions, when you will study Python, different topics of Python, you will see that how much close it is correlated with the words in English. So you will appreciate that how easy it how easy it is to learn it. The second thing is it is free and open source. Now, uh, the thing is that any programming language is developed by a particular person or an organization, but it actually depends. It's more the future developments of that particular programming language, or you can say the different versions which come of that particular programming language are more, but because of the open source and because of the community of developers that work on that particular programming language. They give their own suggestions regarding those particular programming language, and these suggestions are programming language. So the third one is large community. Python has a very large community of developers. This is why this is why uh, Python is advancing in every particular version of it. Like suppose the first version was there, now you have 3.14 version of Python currently. Let's say the version is 3.14. In this particular version, you will see, and you will see the first version. This is not the first version. When you will see the first version, and you will compare. So when you will compare this particular version, the latest version, with the first version of Python, you will see that with time, it has become better. When the first version was there, it had some things to write a code. Those things might be not so proper, but with time, when people were using Python, due to its free and open source nature, people began saying that, hey, this is the thing which should be added in this. This is the thing that should be removed in Python. So according to that, different versions of Python have came over time, and each version has become better at some extent. Now, the next uh, advantage of Python is it uh, has a large library support. As I told you above, there are many libraries in Python, such as these ones, which are used in the data science and data analysis roles, and also in the artificial intelligence and machine learning roles. Similarly, there is Pygame library, which is used in game development. There are a lot of other libraries as well. So, because of these libraries, it is very easy to write code in Python. You don't have to write everything from the scratch, but you can use these pre-written libraries to write a code which is more easy to understand, and you can do a lot of things in very less number of lines of code. Now, after these uh, advantages of Python, we are going to see some of the disadvantages. Disadvantages of Python. The first and the biggest disadvantage that you will hear from a lot of developers or any person who writes code in different programming languages is it is slow. Now, when you will compare Python with a lot of programming languages such as C++, C++, Java, or any other programming languages, you will see that in executing a particular lines of code, Python will take a lot more time than compared with any other languages such as C++, Java. The second disadvantage is it gives a lots of runtime errors. Runtime errors are often in Python. So when you will work with Python, you will see that you expected something, but instead of that, you get an error while running that particular code. So what exactly is runtime error? We will understand in the future, but don't worry about that. Uh, what happens exactly in Python is that due to its built-in nature of converting a particular variable into the nearest data type, which the most suitable data type, it gives an error because suppose you want a number 3.14, which is pi, but Python instead of that converted into 3, or suppose you wanted 3 or it got converted into 3.00, something like that if you want a particular value, but instead of that, because of the default nature of Python, it got converted into any other value that can give error, and that is a problem. So these were the disadvantages of Python. Now let us get started with Python. So before going on in Python, uh, I will give the links of Python, downloading Python, and downloading the VS Code, the editor, code editor, which I am going to use in these tutorials. Uh, so you can download them from that. Now, now we are going to write the first code of Python, which is printing hello world. See what exactly is print statement. And let us now try to understand. Now suppose you want to display something on the screen. Yeah, now you want to display the user something on the screen, or you want to show some particular value on the screen to the user. We use a particular statement called as print statement. It is used to display output on user's screen, or you can say the particular monitor of your computer or the screen of your laptop. Now let us write a code. The first code of hello world, printing the hello world in Python. So this is VS Code. I am creating a new file in my folder session 1 and I am calling it, I am giving the file a name such as hello world.py. I have made this file and now I am going to write print, then these curly braces, and within this print, in within these curly braces, I am going to write hello world. Now I am going to run the program. See, this is the button to write any to run any Python file. As you can see, hello world got printed. So what is the function of print statement? It is basically used to print or display the output on the user's screen. And what is the syntax of print statement? Let us see that. This is the particular syntax. Print print and then you will give curly braces, and in the within the curly braces you will give the value that you want to print. Suppose I want to print some message such as hello world. I will go to my VS Code. I will write print. Then within these quotations, I will write hello world. Suppose you want to print a particular number such as 5. So what you will do is you will write print, then curly braces, and within it you will write 5. Since I wanted to print a message, hello world, I used these inverted commas. Let us run this program. See, 5 got printed. So this was our first program in Python. Now, going forward, I want to explain you something called comments. Comments. So what are comments? When you write any code, uh, you are not the only person that is working on a particular software. So what actually happens is when you write a code, you also want the other person to understand what you have done in that particular code or what was exactly the purpose of that code. So what you do is you add comments so that you can make that another person understand what exactly was the intention of that particular code. So what comments do is make it easy for us to understand the purpose or exactly how the code is working, which is called functionality of the code. Now, in Python, there are two types of comments called single line comments, which start with hash symbol, and multi-line comments, which start with these symbols. Now there can be single inverted commas, or there can be a multiple inverted commas. Okay, so there can be double inverted commas or single inverted commas. That both of them are accepted in Python. Let me show you how exactly uh, comments work. See, earlier I have added a comment, single line comment, hash print statement used to display or print the output of the on the user's screen. So this is a single line comment. And why did I add this? So that anyone in reading my code can exactly understand what was the purpose or the functionality of this particular print statement. Now, if I want to add a multi-line comment, how exactly I will add it? Let us see. Suppose I want to write uh, this is a multi-line comment. See, Python will give an error. See, it is saying multi-line is not defined. This is not defined. So these words are not defined. So you cannot just write these words uh, like this because it will give an error. So if you want to leave some text for any other person or developer so that he or she can understand the or uh, purpose or the functionality of your code, you will give comments. If the comment is of a single line, you will give a hash symbol. Otherwise, you can give commas, single inverted commas like this, or just a second, there was space, or you can give even double inverted commas like this. See, I am writing this is a multi-line comment. See, now I will execute and it will not give any error. It is printing hello world and 5. So this is the particular purpose of comment. Now, one thing you need to avoid while commenting is please do not comment obviously. What I want to say is that some things are very obvious and can be understood easily. You do not have to comment that thing. Like in this case, I told you, I have commented this print statement used to display or print the output on the user screen. But in future, you will see that this is very obvious thing. Every developer knows that the functionality of print statement is this. So you do not have to write very obvious things in your comments because then it will create a lot of comments and your code will become difficult to read. So this is the negative thing which you have to avoid because the comments should be helpful, not problematic in their own. So going forward, now let us understand other topics. Now we are going to study something called as variables. Variables. What exactly variables are? Uh, they are containers, or you can say kind of boxes to store values. What I basically mean is, suppose you have a value 5. You want to use a particular value in the whole program. Now, to carry that value and store it, you will assign that value into a variable such as x, y, z, or any name of the variable that you want. Suppose, let me give an example. X is equals to 5, or you can say marks is equals to 90. So if you want to store this particular value 90 or 5 in your program and you want to use that value in the future, you can store it into the variables such as marks or x. Now where are these variables stored? They are stored in the memory of your particular device, such as RAM, CPU, and so on. They are stored basically on RAM. While you are executing the program, they are stored in your RAM. Now, let me show you how to create variables. Okay, so my first variable will be, let's suppose I want to store marks of a person. Marks is equals to 90. Suppose I want to store age of a person. Age is equals to 15. Suppose I want to store the name of a person. Name is equals to Yash. Suppose I want to store a value such as true or false. So you can even store that. You can say truth is equals to true. So you can store any kind of value which is possible in a programming language in the containers such as marks, age, name, truth, or any particular name or which you like into containers which are called variables. Now there are some rules to write. Now there are some rules to write the names of these variables, and you cannot write anything in these. Uh, in the as these variables. Let me explain this. Uh, there are some rules which are followed when writing the name of these variables. The first rule is names of variables should not start with what I basically means it. Let me explain you. Suppose I give a variable such as one answer. Now this is not a valid name because according to the first rule, the names of variables should not start with a digit. Means when you are writing the name of a variable, uh, the first character of that particular variable's name should not be a digit. Like see, one has come in the beginning of this variable name. So this is an invalid name, and this will result in an error when you are writing some code in Python. Now, there's another rule that you can use only underscore as a symbol in a variable's name. So, underscore is a symbol which can be used as a variable's name. For example, suppose I want to give marks of a student. So I will say marks underscore of a student so 1 is equals to 90. So this is valid. But if I use any other symbol in this variable such as marks and suppose I say at the rate 1 is equals to 90. This is wrong because any other symbol other than underscore in the variable's name is not allowed. Now the third rule is we cannot use reserved keywords as variables variable name. Let me explain. See, age is equals to 40 is a valid name because there is no such reserved keyword such as age in Python programming language. What exactly are reserved keywords? They are basically words which have a particular fixed meaning which the interpreter will understand in the Python language. So if you will give that particular name, that reserved keyword as a variable name, so the interpreter will kind of get confused whether you want to use that particular word uh, as a sense in which it is defined in that programming language, or are you using it as a reserved keyword? So this is avoided as it will give an error. Now, what I mean to say is if you say true is equals to 40, now this will give an error because true is a reserved keyword in Python programming language. So this will give an error. Let me show you by writing the code what I exactly mean. Okay, so let me write uh, the variables names. See, the first condition was names of variables should not start with digits. Let us see if I give a variable name which start with digits. I say uh, one name. See, from the beginning it has started giving a red symbol. The color has changed to red because it is not correct. Is equals to yes. And let me run this program. It will give an error. See, it is saying syntax error because you know that the variable's name cannot start with a number. Now, let me comment this. This is, but what if I give the name as name1 is equals to yes. Now let me just show you by printing the name 1. See, it got printed. This is because it is a valid name. Even if I will not print it and I will run this program, see, it is not giving in any error. This means this is a valid name. This is a valid variable name. Now, the second condition was only underscore as a symbol in variable's name. Let me show you. Suppose I use name or I say age at the rate 2 is equals to 10. Now I will run this program. It will give a syntax error. Cannot assign to expression. See, this is because you cannot use any other symbol other than underscore to declare the variable's name. So this is wrong. Now instead if I will use the variable name as age underscore 2 is equals to 10 and I will run the program, it will not give any error. See, it will not give any error. Now, the third condition that I told you was cannot use reserved keywords. I told you that true is a reserved keyword in Python. If I say true is equals to 10 and I'll run this program, it will give an error. Cannot assign to true because true itself is a keyword. Now, instead of it, I give you a particular keyword, particular variable name, which is not a keyword. See, this was wrong. I create a new variable such as, uh, let us say, count is equals to 10. Now, count is not a keyword in Python, so this will not give any error. See, it did not give any error. So this is a valid variable name. Now let us also see what if I start the name of a particular variable with underscore. I say underscore age is equals to 10. Now let me run this. It was okay. But there is one thing, this is not followed in Python because this is not never encouraged and mostly we use underscore later, like age equals underscore 1 is equals to 10. This is because, see, you will see that when you will study object-oriented programming, underscore before the variable name has a different characteristic or explanation of a variable as its own. Means underscore before the name of a variable has a different meaning, and that meaning is used in object-oriented programming. So when you will understand object-oriented programming, until then we will not never use anything such as this. We can use underscore uh, in between the variable name, but we will not never start or end the variable with an underscore. Okay. Now I will teach you what are the data types in Python. So let us see. Data types in Python. So what are data types? They are basically the kind of value uh, which are stored in variables. Let me explain this one by one. So there can be numeric data type, there can be numeric data types, such as integer, float, and complex. Let us see each one of them. Integer or int. These are basically uh, not whole numbers, just a second. These are integers with no decimal values. You can say they are whole numbers. Uh, Along with whole numbers, integers are also negative. Let me give an example. Suppose -10, 0, 4, and so on. So these are integers. Now, what are float? Float are decimal numbers. Numbers which have decimal places as well. Let me give an example. Suppose -10.01, 3.14, and so on. And what are complex? What is complex data type? Complex are basically a combination of real numbers plus imaginary numbers. Let me give an example. So in Python, see in maths you have learned that complex numbers are of the form a plus ib. There is the real part and B is the imaginary part. Similarly, in Python, instead of I, we are using the symbol J to represent iota. Let me explain this. Examples are 3 plus 4j minus 10 plus 2j, 5 minus 4j, and so on. So there is a real part and there is an imaginary part as well. The most commonly used numeric data types are integer and because someday you might need it as well. Now the next data type is Boolean data type. So Boolean data types consist of only two values, true and false. What is true? It means whether a condition is true or false. Just a second. So you will learn that in programming language also there are conditions. So true is used if a condition is true or you can say correct or it is valid. And false is used if the particular fact or condition is wrong. We will learn more about Boolean data types, true and false, in the future when we will study uh, different operators. Uh, so, moving on, the next data type is string. So, what exactly string is? When, just a second. See, I stored my name as Yash in a variable called name. In these inverted commas. Um, Anything such as which is a kind of text or consisting of digits or not digits, sorry. Uh, Instead of digits, you have English characters, alphabets, along with either symbols or a combination of them. You can say that they are string. Let me show you what is exactly is string. So it is text data type. Let me give an example. So you can say in inverted commas, if I say write hello world or in inverted commas, anything in inverted commas is string. No matter what is inside these inverted commas, everything is string. Uh, Suppose I say uh, address 123, or suppose I say cost at the rate 20, and so on. Anything which is inside these inverted commas is string. Now, you know that you have a particular email address. It consists of alphabets, both in uppercase and lowercase. It will also have some symbols. It will also have some digits. So the best example of a string is your email address itself. Now there are also other data study in the future, but these are the ones which we will use the most for now. Any other data type which we will need in the future, I will teach you. Now moving on, we will see some terms such as expressions and statements. Now first let us know what is our expressions. So any particular value, or you can say if you write anything in the form of in the form such as, let me explain you. Let me give you an example. 3 into 4, or you say 3 plus 9, or you can say uh, a plus b minus c. So any particular thing written in this format is an expression. And what basically is a statement? It is assigning this particular expression to a variable. Suppose I say product is equals to 3 into 4. Sum is equals to 3 plus 9. Or I say result is equals to a plus b minus c. So these are statements while these are expressions. So you can say that expressions are a particular, you can say a part of a equation, while the whole equation along with the variable name, when we are assigning that particular expression into a variable, is a statement. Now statements do not always need to be equal to having an equal to any particular Python line can also be a statement. Let me explain. So suppose I say uh, just I wrote print hello world. This is also a statement. A particular line in the code of Python is also a statement, while expressions are just raw part of the statement, which are not assigned to any variable. So these are expressions, and while these are statements.